approached her door and knocked 3 times.
Hello? Who is it?
It is I, Rodeo Romanovich. Let me in, I have something for you.
Fine.
She opened the door. I walked in slowly and the door closed behind me.
What do you want?
It's a silver cigarette case. I thought you might have some interest in it. Here you are.
Give it here. I don't know. I'm not sure. It's not very nice. I can't,
I'm upset with your indecision, Aliona. That's a shame. I shot her once in the back. I gazed down at her body, a little shocked that I had just taken my first life. Nevertheless, I ran around collecting anything that I found. Suddenly, I heard keys jingling in the door.
Hello, Aliona, are you home? Hello?
It was Aliona's sister, Lizaveta.
Aliona, where are you? Hello, Aliona?
When she saw the body, she screamed.
Oh my God, no!
She had to die too.
Oh, no!
Shocked that I had just taken 2 human lives, I ran. At last the day came and I went to Aliona's apartment, a silver cigarette case in one pocket and a revolver in the other. Slowly I approached her door and I knocked 3 times.
Hello? Who is it?
Aliona, it is I, Rodeo Romanovich. Let me in, I have something for you. She opened the door and stepped back. I walked in slowly and the door closed behind me. It's a silver cigarette case I thought you might be interested in, Aliona. Here you are.
Let me see it.
She took it from me and stepped back, turning around to appraise it.
Not very nice. Well...
Your indecision leaves me no time, Aliona. I'm sorry. I shot her once in the back.
No, you shut the camera!
I was hoping that was gonna
You were standing right between us. I
Yeah,
couldn't
I know.
see him at all.
Right,
I
I
was
was-
saying.
At last the day came and I went to Aliona's apartment, a silver cigarette case in one pocket and a revolver in the other. Slowly I approached her door and knocked 3 times.
Hello? Who is it?
It is I, Rodeo Romanovich. Let me in, Aliona. I have something for you. She opened the door and stepped back slowly.
Come in.
I walked in and the door closed behind me. It's a silver cigarette case I thought you might take some interest in. Here you are.
Let me see it.
She took it from me and stepped back.
Well, I don't know.
She turned around to
Very
appraise
nice.
it.
Well, good,
This is a shame, Aliona. I did not expect you to be so indecisive. Forgive me. I shot her once in the head and she went down. I looked down at her body. Then I began rooting around the room for anything I could find. No sooner had I begun than I heard keys jingling in the doorway. I ran beside the door. It was Aliona's sister, Lizaveta.
Hello, Aliona, are you home? Hello?
When she saw the body, she screamed.
Oh no, my God!
I had no choice but to eliminate the witness.
Ah!
Horrified with what I'd done, I ran out of the room and down the stairs. I turned in the hallway and ran home as fast as I could.
Mom's...
Things had gone terribly awry. Instead of one body, I'd taken 2. I totally screwed everything up. I was shaken. I had no idea what to do. I found a path outside the building and began down it towards my own. The few treasures that I...
Fuck, I just tripped, sorry.
Yeah.
I slipped, sorry about that, my fault. I just recorded that.
Why are you talking? Don't worry, it's okay.
Alright.
Things had gone terribly. I'd taken 2 lives instead of 1. The few treasures I'd walked away with were basically worthless. A few stones, a couple coins, and a cheap old wooden jewelry box. There was a stash somewhere, but I hadn't had time to find it. In my haste, I'd run out. I'd left the door open. The body's lying there. Any idiot could have found out what had gone on. I found a path outside the building. Shocked and shaken, I proceeded towards my own home, when suddenly I ran into an old friend of mine, Razumihin, and his companion Zosimov, who I would later be introduced to. I tried to push past them, but alas, they stopped. Sir,
Hey.
excuse me.
Roger Romanovich.
Oh, it's Resume. How have you been?
Meet my friend
It's a pleasure. I'd love to chat, but I really have to go. I'm sorry. I will talk to you sometime. We'll have tea. Pardon.
Roger.
I proceeded down the path. On my way, I stopped and buried a few small treasures that I had found. These would later be discovered by the detective Porphyry, who, in spite of a confession by a painter Nikolai, would continue to pursue the case and later accuse me. I went on towards my home, unaware of everything that would unfold after that. Feeling sick to my stomach and sick in my mind. I hurried home and went straight to bed. I slept for days, it seemed, and I felt terrible. While I'd been sleeping, Razumihin and Zosimov tracked me down. Spent time sitting by my bed and drawing conclusions about my condition.
As far as I can tell, he has cervical cancer.
Are you serious?
No, I'm just kidding. I think he should just get plenty of rest, and he'll be fine.
Are you a real doctor?
Not really, but sort of. I see I'm a student at the...
I'm surrounded by idiots.
While Zosimov was drawing his somewhat unclear and clouded diagnoses, Porphyry was at the time investigating the murder and had somehow been introduced to me through a mutual friend of his and Razumihin's, a man named Zamatov. In spite of Nikolai's confession,
The phone's right.
That is really shitty. Hello?
I'd gone straight home and gone to bed. I spent days sleeping, and as I did so, Razumihin and Zosimov tracked me down and came to my home. Zosimov, being a doctor, tried to make diagnoses of me, but was sometimes a bit off.
As far as I can tell, your friend is suffering from cervical cancer.
Are you serious?
No, I'm just kidding. It's a joke. He probably just needs to get some rest.
You're not a real doctor, are you?
Well, when you say real,
Oh, God. I'm surrounded by idiots.
In spite of Zosimov's inexperience and simply idiotic diagnosis, I recovered eventually, but while I did so, Porphyry was investigating the murder. Nikolai made a confession, true, but a mutual friend of his and Razumihin's, Zamatov, had somehow mentioned my illness, and so Porphyry thought that perhaps it was somehow related. This would eventually lead him to put together the pieces of my puzzle, track me down, condemn me, and force me to hate him for the rest of my long, long black life. I recovered, and when I awoke, thanked Razumihin and Zosimov both for their help. However, at the time, I was still feeling very guilty and really had no time to deal with them, in spite of the fact that they were extremely persistent and just wouldn't leave me alone no matter what I did. Gentlemen, I really appreciate what you've done, and I can't, Razumihin, I really can't thank you enough. And Zosimov, even though perhaps you're a bit on the incompetent side, you've got a lot to learn, but I know that you're going to make a wonderful doctor.
Well, you have no idea how important it is in this day and age to have doctor. You know, it's very expensive for medical insurance and things now. It's yeah.
I apologize for bringing an idiot to attend to your
It's fine, don't worry. Thank you both. Is there anything I can do for you?
But
I'd be more than happy. Would you excuse me? I really must go. Pardon me.
Resuming,
What is it?
what is going... Holy shit.
Well, you're an idiot. That's the basic premise that we have
It was
here.
fine. Until then.
No way.
Turn it off. Turn it off.
What should...
Over time I recovered, and when I awoke, of course, I found it only natural to thank Zosimov, the incompetent doctor, and my good friend Razumihin for their help. However, in spite of my physical recovery, the mental and psychological torment was still there. No, that would never be healed, never at all. But alas, hopefully if all went well, these two men would never know that. Gentlemen, thank you. I'm indebted to you forever, really.
It's no problem. I mean, I know how important it is in this day and age to have a doctor as a friend because of course health
you're a good
insurance
man, and
becomes very
it was
important.
so good to see you.
You know, where would we be in society?
I'm sorry to
without
bring a
doctors?
moron
I
to
mean,
attend to
people
you.
to
It's fine,
heal,
seriously. Now,
people
for both
to,
parties,
I mean,
it's been a pleasure.
Excuse me. Okay.
Raskolnikov,
What is it, Resume?
what is going on?
Resume, I've known you a long time. I feel I can trust you, but still, you could never understand what... Have you heard about the murders, my friend?
Yes, of course.
Then you know about the woman who was murdered, the money that she had, but how it was never found.
Yes, of course.
Well, you know about my condition. My financial condition. My friend, you have no idea the torment that I go through. Every day is a struggle. Idiots like your doctor friend. Persistent fools like you. Damn it, why can't you all just leave me alone?
Alright.
Over time I recovered, and having awoken from my long, long hibernation of sorts, I found it only natural to thank the two men that had helped me out. Even though Zosimov was an idiot doctor who really did nothing, and Razumihin was just a persistent... Oh, words can't explain it. But still, they were my friends, and I was indebted to them. Gentlemen, words cannot express how grateful I am for all that you've done for me.
It's all right, you know. It's very important.
Yeah, even
doctor
though-
friend in this.
And
Shut
the
up!
average-
What the hell was that?
What was that? Oh, you idiot!
Gosh, you jackass!
What?
I heard the.
Once I recovered, I found it only natural to thank the two men who had helped me. Even if one of them was an idiot doctor and the other one just a pestering nuisance. But still, they were my friends, and the only reason why I felt negative was because, of course, I was both mentally and psychologically tormented. Razumihin, my friend, it was a long time since I'd seen you, and you really outdid yourself. And your friend Zosimov, it was a pleasure. Even though any monkey boy could have made the diagnosis.
I understand. In this, never mind.
Look at moron!
Upon my recovery, I found it only natural to thank the two men who had been by my bedside. In spite of the fact that Zosimov was basically an idiot. And of course, Razumihin, though had good intentions, was annoying and would not leave me alone. Still, they were my friends, and it really was my place to tell them how grateful I was for everything that they'd done. Razumihin, my friend, it's been a long time since I've seen you, and you really outdid yourself. I really appreciate it. And
Pleasure.
Zosimov,
What can be said? I mean, we've just had such a good time.
It's very true. In this day
it's
and age,
been
it's
so much
important to have a doctor
a
friend.
doctor.
Health
a
and medical
moron.
insurance.
Even if he's got the
very-
intelligence of him.
Oh, what?
Paraplegic monkey, son of a bitch. Come here. Come on.
I am turning this off. We are not turning this in. This scene is over.
Excuse me.
Upon my recovery, I found that Zosimov and Razumihin were still by my bedside and still offering assistance. Naturally, once I had my strength back, I had to thank them. There was nothing I could do. Even if Zosimov had been somewhat of a bumbling idiot and Razumihin had pestered me a bit more than I would have liked to, obviously. I only wanted time alone, and they wouldn't seem to realize this. Razumihin, my friend. It's been a long time. It was good to see you again, and I appreciate everything you've done.
My pleasure.
Zosimov, it was a pleasure meeting you, and you outdid yourself. I mean, perhaps you only offered Razumihin consolation because your diagnoses were, of course, completely incorrect. But still, medically, you're an idiot, but you're a good man to know.
Yes,
Now,
it's
if you're
very
both pardon me,
important
I
in this
really
day and age to
have
have
to
a doctor as a
Thank
friend.
you. Have a good
Can
day.
you imagine when we...
Raskolnikov, Raskolnikov.
What is it, Razumihin?
What's going on?
I cannot speak. Listen, don't you understand what's going on? Haven't you been reading the news? Were you raised in a cave? My financial situation? The two murders? The women? Their money taken? Suddenly, I'm acting all weird? Can't you put two and two together? Can't you figure out what's going on inside my head? You'll never know. No one will ever understand. Away. Don't look at me. Leave me. I must go.
Oh dear.
how you walk.
Here we come.
Oh my god!
You didn't do that on purpose either.
What's going on? Oh boy. What is...
Did we really choose him as a partner for the whole year?
What's the reason why this is taking so goddamn long? It seemed that no sooner had I recovered than I got a summons to the police station from Portland. This left me a bit perplexed. After the confession of Nikolai, it made no sense that I should be speaking to him again. But I was concerned. Porphyry and I had met once before when I was ill. And though he had seemed friendly enough, he'd been very unnerving and had been somewhat confrontational with me.
Ah, yes. Rodion Romanovich. My good sir, how are you? What do you need here? Have a seat, my good man. Have a seat, please.
Thank you. So what's this about, Porphyry? Why have you called me down here? Last time we spoke, I thought things were pretty well settled between us.
They are. I just simply wish to further discuss our last conversation. Cigar, my good man? You look rather nervous.
No, thank you.
Fair enough. At this point, you should be mentioning Nikolai and where am I going at.
That's right.
Ah, yes, my dear Rodion Romanovich.
Porphyry.
Have a seat, my good man, please.
Thank you. So, why did you call me down here, Porphyry? Last time I spoke with you, I thought that we had things pretty well settled. What do you mean?
Certainly, we did. I just wish to further discuss our last conversation.
Ah, of course. That's our conversation.
But I can't get the damn things out.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Just.
Ah, yes. My dear Rodion Romanovich.
Porphyry, it's a pleasure.
Please, have a seat, my friend.
Thank you. So, Porphyry, what can I do for you this time? I mean, the last time we spoke, I thought things were pretty well settled, but now I get this summon to come down here again. What's the deal?
Please, help yourself. You look rather nervous.
It's fine, thank you.
I just simply wish to further discuss our last conversation where we left off, that's all.
Of course. Our last conversation. Now, let's see. That would be the one where you tried to intimidate me about the recent murders, even though you've already gotten the confession from Nikolai the painter. How could I forget that conversation?
Intimidate you? No, my good man, but if this case interests you so much, perhaps we should further discuss it. Here we have an interesting, gloomy case. A modern case. We have a man who left the door behind him unlocked, yet killed. Killed 2 people, in fact. Took no money. A few possessions and heirlooms he did take. Buried underneath a stone. Doesn't that strike you as rather odd, my good man?
Oh, I think you have to look at the person. I mean, perhaps Nikolai was sick. No one knows.
Ah! Yes, but here we must evaluate this also. Our killer thinks of himself as an honest person, despises people, walks almost in the face of a pale angel. No, forget Nikolai. Rodion Romanovich, my good man, Nikolai is not here.
So, if Nikolai is not a part of that, then who do you think killed them, Porphyry?
Who killed them?
Yes, that's what I meant.
My dear Rodion Romanovich, sir. You killed them, my friend.
Oh, Porphyry. I assure you it was not me.
No, it was you, Rodion Romanovich. It was you. There's no one else.
Porphyry had figured out the truth, but he did not have the evidence to draw a conviction upon me. Instead, it was my own guilt that gnawed away and caused me to confess later. My sentence was exile to Siberia, which is where I am today and where I will stay for the rest of my days. I live here alone in the cold. I wrap myself in old, ragged blankets. And I ask myself why I did what I did and what good came of it. And the only answer I can come up with is none. None whatsoever. But of course, it was my own fault because, as I've mentioned before, things were not always this